Did you know that every male on Earth begins life as a female? The Y chromosome, which is responsible for the development of a fetus into a male, is inactive for the first 5 weeks, and the embryo develops into a female. Starting with the 6th week, when the Y chromosome comes into play, everything changes.
What's up, fam? It's your boy Ayindei from Authentic Alphas, and you just heard my boy in the clip. Pretty much, we all start off as females in the womb, and then we gradually develop more masculine traits. So what I want to talk about this video is how, on a biological level, there's actually a lifelong process developing and maintaining manhood. So let's get into it.
Girls' brains throughout development seem to be reaching maturity 1 to 2+ years ahead of the boys' brains. And we know this. I've just mentioned this process of myelination, of connectivity. Well, the girls appear to myelinate, to cause the closure of this adult process 2 or 3 years earlier than boys. And when you look at brain growth, what happens across development is your brain grows, and then it actually starts to prune itself a little bit as you become adult-like. So the number of brain cells in your brain is actually comes down a little bit to become adult-like. You want that. You don't want, it's a part of a pruning that's important. So when you look at when that happens, it happens a little bit earlier in girls than it does in boys. So actually, boys are completing the process into their late teens and early 20s, whereas girls are completing this process of connectivity and sort of the pruning part of the brain more towards the end of the teenage years, middle to end of the teenage years. Now, given that lag, it makes some people have suggested that we might consider some gender-based learning. Now, it is possible that the girls are ready to learn certain things, possibly earlier than boys, because of this ability that they mature sooner. And so one asks whether some subjects could be taught to girls earlier than boys, and we might need to consider this in terms of high school curriculum. However, ideally, this is not just gender-based. Every individual is going on their own.
All right, so I gotta cut that broad off because she done went from facts and science and, confirmed data over into the feminine brain and started making some different type of assumptions based on the literature. And these are one of the things that I want guys to stay clear of. When I'm reading in the comments, reading in other people's comments, I see a lot of comments where you gotta stop and be like, hold on, is it a guy that wrote this or is it a chick? You gotta look at the profile picture real quick because it's just some feminine ass junk, coming from a dude. So we are definitely decades into the elite's agenda to feminize men. And that's not just a visual thing, dudes wearing dresses. It's also a mental thing. They try to get us to think more and more like how females naturally think, and it's just an easy mindset to control and dominate. So what she just did that irritates the hell out of me is she drew some ridiculous conclusions based on facts or based on observable reality, and it's something that I find females doing all the damn time. So let me give you some examples so you know what I'm talking about. Independent chick, educated, whatever, can't seem to date successfully. She can't seem to attract or keep guys. And what's her explanation? Men are intimidated by her degrees. Men are intimidated by her success. They're intimidated by her career. And it's like, no, they're not. They're just simply not attracted to it. They're not interested in it. It doesn't benefit them. They don't like it. They don't want to be around it. They don't want to hear you boast about how accomplished you are. They don't want to compete with you. It's a long list of that. But of course, women reduce it to men are intimidated by strong, independent women. Terrible at making assumptions. Really bad. Let's try another example. He's not ready to be in a relationship. No, he just doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. But the list goes on. I mean, the pay gap, for example, this is one of the most frustrating conclusions that women come to. Women make less than men weekly, monthly, annually. Female interpretation of that information: women are oppressed. It's sexism. Women are being paid less than men to do the same job. That's illegal. Been illegal since 1967. If that were the case, women would have lawsuits left and right. So what's really happening there? I don't know. Women are taking maternity leave. Women are leaving jobs as soon as they get married to a guy that's making more money than them. Women are less competitive and less aggressive about pursuing raises and promotions. These are the real explanations for it. But when you leave it up to them to interpret it, it's a really lazy interpretation, and it's always an emotional interpretation, and it's always off base. So what this lady just did was she said, okay, female students mentally mature at an earlier rate than boys, and their brain makes the transition from adolescent to adult earlier. Her conclusion is we should be teaching women more complex studies at an earlier age. The real reason why that is because the development of women just simply takes less time because they don't need to be as advanced and developed as men to be successful. For men, it's going to take a lot more time for us to master the skills, the different understandings, to get the wisdom, to even put on the size. Young guys come to me all the time and they're like, I want to get big, I want to do this, I want to do that. Bro, it's like growing a beard. It comes when it comes, and it takes more time. Getting big for a man, you're not even going to be your biggest until you start getting into your 30s. Whereas females, they've already reached adulthood, 16, 17, their bodies are already fully developed. Now, the issue with that is some guys will actually be blunt enough to say that in their experience, it seems that women stop developing once they mature sexually. They stop developing mentally. Of course, if you say this out loud, it's offensive to women and whatever, but this is what guys observe. This is what guys who are older, who have dealt with women for some time, come to the conclusion of. It's like, hold on, it seems like these women haven't matured much in the last 10 years. And since they passed 18 or since they passed 17 or whatever the case may be, they don't really seem to mature that much mentally past that point. Whereas for guys, it's a constant development throughout life. So I just want guys to understand that's a path that doesn't end when you're 18 or when you're 21. Whenever they tell you, oh, you're an adult, no. For us, it's a constant development, constant building. And the title of this video is basically that we are constantly differentiating ourselves from the feminine, right? And that takes work, whereas the feminine should already just come naturally. Unfortunately, it doesn't these days because the women are indoctrinated to be less feminine, but their temperament should already come natural.
The body of a future man is formed with certain peculiarities dictated by evolution. For example, men have big noses because they consume more oxygen. They also have fewer pain receptors, which makes them more resilient. The peculiarities of the male body and psyche are essential for survival, finding a mate, group interaction, and producing healthy offspring. And achieving success in all of these areas makes him a champion, both in primitive times and now.
Okay, competitiveness. I recommend that every man have something competitive in their life, at least one thing. I don't know if you want to play football on the weekends, you want to get you some pickup games of basketball in the neighborhood, whatever it is. Find something that's competitive that you can do with another man or other men that you can also fit into your routine. It's just healthy for your brain, it's healthy for your psyche, because being competitive is a part of you. So you also want to bring that competitiveness to the workplace. You want to bring it to the dating market. You know what I mean? You might even bring it to the family life, man. You might be competing with your brother, who's the better son. The point is don't shy away from being competitive. Embrace it, be familiar with it. You know what I mean? One of the things that I think is great to get involved in, I missed this bus and I regret it, is chess. I think chess is probably one of the greatest games of all time. Truly a competitive game of the mind. So if you're a chess player, play more. If you're not a chess player, Learn to
A
play.
man has strong bones, and the more a man trains or takes part in sports activities, the stronger and more massive his skeletal system becomes. Female bones are constructed differently and become fragile over time.
Again, another one of those things that men have, or that separate men from women, is our level of aggression. Now, obviously, misplaced aggression can get you into a lot of trouble, but ignoring that element of your physiology, ignoring that aggressive element, isn't really healthy for your psyche either. So you got to make sure that you have outlets put in place to get that healthy aggression out, whether it be boxing, whether it be wrestling, some type of contact sport, something that allows you to get that aggression out. Going to the shooting range, whatever it is for you as an individual, make sure you're making time for that in your life, in your repertoire, because it's important. Women like to go to the spa or go to the hair or nail salon and pamper themselves. They like to beautify themselves or whatever. This is something that they're doing for themselves to balance out their emotions or whatever they're doing over there. Enjoy your tea party. The point is that as fellas, we have our little things too that we have to make sure that we're keeping in the routine just for our own personal health, peace of mind and balance. So find an outlet for aggression. Also, running. Running is a beautiful thing, man. I'm not doing enough of it, but it is a beautiful thing. If you can fit that into your schedule, if not daily, at least weekly, get some runs in. It will make a hell of a difference. Clear your mind. Also a great time to think, plan, philosophize, whatever you need to do. It's that me time that every man should have. So if you can't do it super early in the morning when nobody else is out, do it late at night when nobody else is out. The point is, find a place and a time where you could go for a nice little run, put on your headphones, whatever you gotta do, put a hoodie on or whatever, where you could block out the world and it just be you and you.
Men can exhibit a high level of aggression. It depends on the amount of the testosterone hormone in his body. Mostly, testosterone levels are about 20 times higher in men than in women. There's also an inverse relationship. Scientists from Nipissing University in Canada discovered that aggressive actions increase testosterone levels in the blood. Testosterone is also responsible for the formation of new blood cells in a man's body. Therefore, male blood contains more hemoglobin and red blood cells. In addition, men are great runners. Male legs have 80% more muscle than female legs, and their heart and lungs supply more oxygen, which helps men run faster.
Remember, as a man, you have to be able to protect yourself as well as the people around you, primarily the women and the children. So you gotta be able to see danger coming. You gotta be aware. And it's not always, a physical threat that's coming. A lot of times it could be if we do this, and this, and then this is gonna happen and it's gonna be a problem later. So you kinda gotta be on point, be paying attention to every little thing that's being done, every little move, every little decision, and trying to predict how that's gonna play out and is it the best move so that you can, avoid, issues for yourself and also evolve issues for the people that are in your circle. So in other words, make sure that you know what's going on around you and make sure that you got the back, of your people. So, basically look out. And when it comes to the differences between men and women got a lot of advantages, man. And even on a genetic level, we are limited in our chromosomes just simply so that theirs can thrive. That's really similar to what's going on in society. You know what I mean? They keep taking from men to prop up women. So it is what it is, and it's always gonna be that way. But that's why I'm saying, as a guy, make sure that you're creating these safe spaces for yourself. You're creating these outlets for yourself. You're creating these benefits for yourself. You're doing things for yourself. You know what I mean? Making sure that you get your me time, making sure that you get your exercise, making sure that you get your study up on and follow the things that you're interested in and learn as much as you can about the things that you're passionate about. And also make sure that as a man, you got a hobby. I don't care if it's golf, putting together puzzles, reading fucking Harry Potter books. I don't care. If it's your hobby, make sure that you're making time.
The thickness of human male skin is only 2 millimeters. That's 0.2 millimeters thicker than women's, and 1/10 as
Basically,
sensitive.
you want to get comfortable get familiar with your aura, with your frame. They're always saying, oh, have a masculine frame, keep a masculine frame. Yeah, but not in a generic way. You know what I mean? I want you guys to be aware. Be as aware as possible. Be self-aware, be aware of what other things are going on around you. So males take up more oxygen than females. Cool, embrace that. Take deep breaths, you know what I'm saying? Take up more air than she does. Men take up more space. Cool, take up more space than she does, right? We consume more food, more calories. Cool. Take more food than her. Take her food off her plate too, why not? You know what I mean? Embrace that savageness in you, but do it like a gentleman. You know what I mean? Sleep. Make sure you're getting that sleep. Women require a minimum of 6 hours of sleep, right? To keep all their hormones and everything balanced. Men require 8. Get that 8 hours of sleep, fellas. Make it happen. I know you're busy. I know you're working. You're doing whatever. Make it happen. Schedule it in there, because I guarantee you there's probably other things taking place in your day that are less important than sleep. So keep that in mind.
Do men sense danger? Many animals can sense the approach not only of predators, but even of natural disasters. The most sensitive barometers of an impending earthquake are mice. They sense danger 15 days before it strikes. Fish and snakes sense the danger 10 days prior. Dogs and hens 10 days before it actually happens. Cats, both wild and domestic, sense the danger a few hours before it strikes. But people aren't capable of anything like that, especially men. Even a direct threat is much less recognized by them. It's all because of a low concentration of the estradiol, progesterone, and cortisol hormones, which are responsible for stress. Of course, it explains why men are kind of fearless. But foolish and reckless actions can also be dictated by this peculiarity. Moreover, men's ears are not very receptive to high-frequency sounds, and that's why some audible warnings fail to reach the male brain. It stems from quirks in a male's central nervous system, as well as from the fact that men are genetically much simpler. That's because to prevent serious conflicts with the X chromosome, the male Y chromosome has to shut down a variety of genes that currently don't encode any proteins. During the 300 million years of a continuous arms race with the X chromosome, the Y chromosome has lost 1,393 genes.
Remember, as a man, you have to be able to protect yourself as well as the people around you, primarily the women and the children. So you gotta be able to see danger coming. You gotta be aware. And it's not always, a physical threat that's coming. A lot of times it could be if we do this, this, and this, and then this is gonna happen and it's gonna be a problem later. So you kinda gotta be on point, be paying attention to every little thing that's being done, every little move, every little decision, and trying to predict how that's gonna play out and is it the best move so that you can, avoid, issues for yourself and also evolve issues for the people that are in your circle. So in other words, make sure that you know what's going on around you and make sure that you got the back, of your peoples, basically look out. And when it comes to the differences between men and women got a lot of advantages, man. And even on a genetic level, we are limited in our chromosomes just simply so that theirs can thrive. That's really similar to what's going on in society. You know what I mean? They keep taking from men to prop up women. So it is what it is, and it's always gonna be that way. But that's why I'm saying, as a guy, make sure that you're creating these safe spaces for yourself. You're creating these outlets for yourself. You're creating these benefits for yourself. You're doing things for yourself. You know what I mean? Making sure that you get your me time, making sure that you get your exercise, making sure that you get your study up on and follow the things that you're interested in and learn as much as you can about the things that you're passionate about. And also make sure that as a man, you got a hobby. I don't care if it's golf, putting together puzzles, reading fucking Harry Potter books. I don't care. If it's your hobby, make sure that you're making time.
Out of an initial 1,438 genes, that's over 96%. For the same reason, men are less adept at distinguishing among shades. On top of that, the effects of testosterone cause the male brain to receive and process signals from the organs of sight in a different way than from a female. Here comes the first myth about the male body. Yeah, men think about sex more often than women, but they think about food and rest no less frequently. Therefore, a man's horniness is a myth, just like the fact that the size of a penis equals the size of a foot. The truth is, the development of the penis and toes is influenced by the same gene, but there's no correlation in their size. British scientists analyzed the data of 15,000 men and concluded that neither foot size, nor finger length, nor body mass index, nor age, nor testicle size correlate with the size of the penis.
Yo, men do think about sex a lot, but yo, that's interesting. Just as often as we think about food, just as much as we think about sleep. But here's the thing though, you gotta eat to live. You don't live to eat, you know what I mean? And you gotta, sleep and rest to perform well, but if you sleep too much, you just become a lazy fuck. So what I'm trying to say is, don't be out here thirsty for no buns, man. You gotta prioritize things in your life. So yeah, the sex life, the sex drive, very important. So definitely want you guys to get enough of that, but keep in mind it's not the most important thing, and also don't put yourself at risk for it. Don't sacrifice too much, don't invest too much into it. Be nonchalant, man. Strategize, do what you gotta do. Get you a nice little rotation going if you can, but just keep in mind sex is not the most important thing, and don't let it impede on other areas of your life. So that's how that goes. Now, as far as the penis size thing, the dick size thing, I will tell you guys this. Dick pumps work, man. So if you're a dude that is unfortunate in that department, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not the end of the world. It's just a matter of how big of a deal is it to you. I'm not gonna say that it's really something you should be worrying about what women think or whatever like that, but if it's an issue for you personally, there are things you can do. Now, I don't know about the pills. I don't know how the pills work, if they work or whatever like that, but I know for a fact, 100% fact, I guarantee you the dick pumps work. I don't mind telling you because I don't give a damn. I didn't have the problem, but in the industry that I was in, the bigger the better. And when I went to Texas, I was in Houston for a while working for like almost a year, like 6 months at a time. I was working in Houston, and the other dudes that were in the club were like, everybody was packing. So at first, I just assumed it was natural, some people are gifted or whatever, and I'm good with mine, so I'm like, hey, whatever, I don't really care. I've never had a problem making money before. But I noticed, like, damn, it's a hell of a lot easier when you can just slap a chick right in the head. When you just slap a chick with the meat. It's a spectacle. And as I got to talking to guys didn't have any problem sharing, and the dudes were very honest and very open. And basically, everybody had a dick pump, man. Everybody had a dick pump in the club. And I was like, wait, what? This pump thing? And so yeah, and I'm talking about several guys. Everybody had a dick pump. So I was like, get out of here. Coming from Miami, nobody had no dick pump in Miami. None of the other cities that I danced in did I see anybody with no dick pump. So anyway, eventually one of the dudes put me up on game and was like, yo, if you're interested in getting one, I'm gonna tell you the best one to get, the one that's gonna work or whatever. So long story short, the dick pumps work. So like I said, man, I'm not shy about it. I was good before it, and if I have to put the measurement on it, because I know somebody's curious, they're like, well, how much did you gain? Tell us, Ayindei. I got no problem telling you, bro. I gained between 2 and 3. Like between 2 and 3 inches. And I know you're like, what? Between 2 and 3 inches? You capping? No, bro, I'm not capping. But I will tell you this much: it's work. It's just like training in the gym or whatever. Not only does it take time, it takes consistency and discipline, man. You got to use that damn dick pump. I used it personally. I used it for 3 months, and I used it for about 20 to 30 minutes a day for like 3 months. And the reason why I stopped using it was 2 reasons. Well, it's the same reason, but two aspects of the same reason. So the reason is that it worked. And the first aspect why I had to stop is because the jar that I got, it was like a I think a 10-inch length, because the cylinder that you buy is different sizes. So the cylinder that I started with was either like 9 or 10 inches, and it worked. So eventually my dick had nowhere to go because it was hitting the end of the cylinder, and the shit started hurting because there's a little sharp thing at the end. So in other words, the motherfucker outgrew the jar. And the second reason was, or the second aspect of the same reason was, it worked. So since it worked, I was like, why am I dedicating 30 minutes a day to this shit when I'm already where I want to be? So anyway, do some goddamn research. The dick pumps work. I thought I'd close out with a little bit of humor, man. I thought that was really funny. But everything he said was straight facts, man. So basically, man, make sure to differentiate yourself from women. It's a mission. It's progressive. You're going to be doing it as you get older. You're going to be doing more and more things to figure out who you are, to find yourself as a man, basically. I recommend that you spend as little time with and around women as possible, including your own. If you live with your woman, make sure you have your own personal space, whether it be an office, the garage, the man cave, whatever. Find things to do, keep yourself busy, and make it clear to her that, like, listen, I need my me time, I need to function. I'm not interested in quantity of time with you, I'm interested in quality of time with you. And if you spend too much time with a woman, you get to arguing, you get to fighting, she gets to nagging, and then it ruins the whole damn relationship. So give yourself time to basically miss each other is what I'm saying with that. So peace, love, and all that other stuff, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Try to keep your mind clear. Focus on, few things at a time and do them to the best of your ability. Don't do the whole scatterbrain thing and you're all over the place. Leave that for the chicks, bro. Right? Be focused, sharp as a razor. I'm gonna get up out of here, guys. Peace.